What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Godspeed ZRZ. Now today I want to cover a question that I've been asked so much here recently, and I think now is the perfect time to give you my answer. So, as we all know, in the last year or so, the automotive market has just been absolutely insane. With that being said, in the meantime of the market being absolutely insane, we've got some of the coolest products that the manufacturers have really ever made, just like the Rubicon 392 right behind me. Now, it seems like we're kind of in a perfect storm in terms of the time frame that we're in, because we've got the technology to make all these crazy and awesome machines, but we've also got the light regulations in terms of how strict things are probably going to be soon. So with that being said, as many of us already know, there are a lot of vehicles that are in production right now that are going to stop production extremely soon. Much like the Rubicon 392, the Trackhawk Grand Cherokee, which has already stopped, a lot of the Hellcats, the TRXs, basically anything with a naturally aspirated or supercharged V8 is up for debate in terms of if it's going to last or not. Almost everything nowadays is going towards EV. If they're not going to EV yet, they're at least going to a smaller twin turbocharged or turbocharged motor. So a lot of these awesome vehicles that we've come to know and love are disappearing really fast. I picked this one up almost as soon as they came out, so I ordered mine. It was actually the first order in the entire nation. Back a couple years ago, the first day order allocations were open. Now, with that being said, I did work at the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram store whenever I did place my order. By the time the Jeep came in, I'd actually left, and thankfully the GM still honored the deal he said he'd give me, and I got a great price on the vehicle. So for me, I didn't have to search through crazy dealers charging $100 plus for these 392s. Nevertheless, not all customers were that lucky, so there were many people that went out and bought these machines for anywhere $90,000 to $100,000, maybe even more. But with that, it kind of just goes to show you the demand that these things bring. So we've always wanted a vehicle like this, a big V8 and a Jeep Wrangler. They've done it before in the past, but not to the level they've done it with this one. And I honestly believe that the demand for that vehicle, once it's gone, is only going to go up. So I've got a lot of questions if I think now is a good time to pick one of these up. Obviously, the prices, the adjusted market values seem to be going down, which is at least a positive sign from what we've seen over the last year and a half or so. But with that, the rates are actually going up to combat the inflation. So you may be able to get a better price than you could last year, but if you're going to finance the vehicle, you're probably going to be around the same payment still. Now, there's always the option of refinancing that loan whenever the rates actually drop later, and that's no big deal and it's a common occurrence. But it is a daunting task to know that once you buy a machine like this, that you're basically going to have to buy it again in the bank size with another lender, and you might not be in the same situation that you're currently in, so it makes it a little iffy. But with all that set aside, we all know the Rubicon 392 is coming to an end very, very soon. So this next up-and-coming model year may be the last opportunity you have to get a factory-built V8 Wrangler. And in my personal opinion, it's now or never. Once they quit making these machines, they may drop off in the used car market for just a little bit, at least in terms of the price. You may be able to start seeing them somewhere around $60,000 with higher mileage, maybe around 40 to 50,000 miles. But if history stays true, it'll be just like every other vehicle that is actually either limited or just cut production entirely. Now, we all remember the Vipers, we all remember the H2s, the H1s. Those vehicles have went insane in value here recently. Now, they have been out of production for quite a bit longer, but I think the Dodge Viper is a better comparison for what we're talking about with the Rubicon 392. I believe they cut production in those 2016, maybe it was 2017, but since then, they did take an initial hit and you could get them for a decent price. But since then, especially since the market's exploded, those things are absolutely ridiculous. You're talking about Lamborghini money now to get a newer Dodge Viper, which it honestly makes sense because they're not going to make any more and you can't just find them online. They're hardly ever listed, and whenever they are, they go very, very fast. And I think these Rubicon 392s are going to be the same way, just in a few short years. Now, I'm sure we're all already aware of the residual value on the standard Jeeps alone, especially the Rubicons. It's one of the highest residual values in the entire market. And with that, whenever you get into a special edition model or a limited production model, I think the residual's only going to get higher. So I've actually sold Jeeps before in the past. I worked for a Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram store before the store I'm at now, and I sold plenty of Jeep Wranglers. Keep in mind, this was back in 2018, 2019. I sold plenty of Jeep Wranglers for their original MSRP sales price with more than 10,000 miles on them. So for me to see that, it was pretty weird, especially back in that time. Today, it's a more likely scenario, but that just goes to show you how strong the resale value is on these Wranglers in general. So for something like this, I can only imagine what it's going to be just a few short years down the road. Whenever you really take a step back and think about it, what other vehicle offers the capabilities and the features anywhere close to the price point of where this Rubicon 392 is? You've got a 6.4 liter Hemi, you've got Dana 44s front and rear, all-time four-wheel drive, you've got a robust transmission, an awesome interior, and it's more customizable than any other vehicle on the road. And to beat all that, you've got one of the strongest and most loyal customer base community behind the Jeep Wranglers in general. There's no other niche in the community that really compares to the Jeep Wrangler community. And that just goes to show you the support that these machines have. Now, for my honest prediction, I do believe the price point on these Rubicon 392s, at least on the pre-owned market, is going to go down for the next couple years. I do believe you'll be able to pick some up around the $60,000, maybe mid-60s range. After that point, within about 2 years of them not being produced anymore, you're going to see the price gradually increase, and nobody's really going to notice it for a while until they're all back over $100,000 again. Now I'm talking vehicles with probably less than 30,000 miles, 20,000 miles, but every vehicle that's in that category is going to be back over $100,000 again, and that's really not that far away. You're talking about a vehicle you may be able to buy for 60, and it could be worth 80 within a couple years. And it's going to happen really fast, and nobody's really going to pay attention to it until the prices are already so high it's too hard to justify getting one. Now, as the entire industry transitions over to EV, I think this is going to be one of the last and one of the coolest naturally aspirated, awesome V8 machines. There's really nothing else to compare it to. Of course, you've got the Bronco Raptor, but that's not even a V8, so there's not really anything to compare it to anywhere close to this price range. And I really think that's going to drive even more interest and more support for the vehicle later on down the road. So my take on this is, if you are willing and you're able and you really want one of these machines, whether it be something like the Rubicon 392, one of the new C8s, or maybe even the ZL1 Camaro, if you're able and willing to buy one of these machines, you better get it now while you still can. Go ahead, buy the bullet, get one of these vehicles while you still can, while you can buy it new, while you can get the V8, while you can get a V8 supercharged. Whatever you're wanting and whatever your real dream car is, if you want it and you're able, you better get it now, because I don't think we're going to have the ability to get them much longer. But that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you all haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think and let me know what you want to see next. But until next time, Godspeed.